Welcome. Today, we begin a technical investigation into the structure of language and its impact on neurochemistry and quantum reality. This educational program focuses on the study of the I am concept. We will not analyze it as a simple self-help phrase, but as a linguistic engineering command capable of reconfiguring biological identity in the field of the source. We will explore how these two words act as a frequency switch for health, wealth, and emotional stability. This is a practical course in mental sovereignty. Please ensure you are in a quiet place, as the frequency of this audio is designed for maximum cognitive absorption. You are the programmer of your own biological and financial reality through the Golden Code. This session serves as the foundation for your transition from a passive observer to an active architect of existence. By understanding the engineering behind the I Am decree, you reclaim the authority to rewrite the laws of your personal universe. Prepare your mind for a deep structural shift as we navigate the technical terrain of the absolute and the primary cause. Introduction. I Am. Throughout the millennia, the most sacred name has been hidden in plain sight. It is not an external name, nor does it belong to a distant deity. It is the sound you emit every time you affirm your existence. I Am is the access code to the central server of reality. You have been taught to use this power to chain yourself, saying, I am poor, I am old, or I am incapable. But today, the veil is lifted. In this chronicle, we will discover that the universe has no other choice but to obey what you place behind those two words. You are about to learn to speak the language of creation itself. Welcome to the activation of your presence. This is the moment when the leaden simulation dissolves to reveal the golden authority of the first cause. The power of the source is now at your fingertips, ready to be channeled through the sovereignty of your decree. You are no longer a victim of circumstance, but the architect of the absolute. Prepare to rewrite the laws of your biological and financial reality. The awakening is not a destination. It is the realization that the power has always been yours in the light. Chapter 1. The Grammar of Divinity. Most human beings go through existence without understanding that their language does not just describe reality, it manufactures it. At the center of every linguistic and spiritual structure in history lies a core of absolute power. The words, I am. They are not simply a subject and a verb. They are the starting coordinates for each individual's personal Big Bang today. In advanced metaphysics, we understand that the universe is an infinite response system that lacks its own judgment. The quantum field does not question whether what you affirm is good or bad, real or imaginary. It simply limits itself to obeying the command you place behind your presence. When you say, I am, you emit a command frequency that forces atoms to organize. From a cognitive learning perspective, the human brain functions through a filter called the reticular activating system. This system acts as a security guard that only lets through information it considers relevant to your identity. If your identity is built on phrases like, I'm someone who struggles, your biology and perception will actively block any wealth or health. The metaphysics of the divine name teaches us that I am is the master switch of this filter. By changing the definition that follows I am, you physically change what your brain is capable of perceiving in the outside world. You are not creating something new. You are allowing what already exists to manifest in your range of vision and within your sovereign reach. One of the most censored concepts is that I am requires no effort. Light does not struggle to illuminate. It simply does so because that is its nature. Likewise, when you affirm a truth from the I am, you must not struggle to make it happen. Struggle is a confession that you are not currently what you desire to be. In the I am frequency, the time dimension collapses. You do not say, I will be healthy, because the future is an illusion that never arrives. You say, I am health, and in that instant, the quantum field recognizes that order as a fate accompli in the eternal present. Resistance disappears when you stop asking the outside world for permission to feel as you wish. The sovereign does not ask for things. The sovereign decrees. For the I am to have massive manifestation power, it must be saturated with sentimental coherence. Words are the seed, but emotion is the water that makes it germinate. If you utter I am wealth, but your body vibrates in the frequency of contraction and fear of debt, the universe will respond to the vibration of fear, which is your true identity at that moment. The forbiddance practice consists of inhabiting the emotional state of abundance before physical evidence appears. You must become an actor so convincing that your own cells believe that wealth is already a biological reality. In this state of fusion with the idea, matter has no choice but to surrender to the authority of consciousness and the command of the weaver. Observe your daily language as if it were programming code. Each time you say, I am, followed by a limitation, you are writing a virus in your own operating system. I am clumsy, I am poor, I am forgetful. These are not descriptions of your being. They are decrees of punishment. The student of presence must apply an absolute mental fast from all these terms. Never join the sacred name I am to a condition you do not wish to see manifested. If you are not yet able to say, I am wealth, with absolute conviction, it is better to keep silent. Silence is the breeding ground of potency. From silence, you can begin to build a new architecture of health and opulence, word by word and feeling by feeling, within the source. This first chapter is the foundation. You have learned that you are not a passive observer of your life, but the central programmer. The divine name, I am, is your working tool. In the next chapters, we will take this tool and apply it surgically to the pillars of human experience: biological vitality and financial expansion. Prepare to become who you truly are. Chapter 2, The Alchemy of Health. Official science has conditioned us to believe we are victims of our genetic code, prisoners of a biological heritage we did not choose. However, in the metaphysics of presence, we reveal a more powerful truth. DNA is not the architect, it is the blueprint, and the architect is your consciousness. Your body is a community of trillions of cells listening to your decrees. Every cell listens with absolute attention to every command you emit. Disease is not a solid entity, but a distortion of the original frequency. When you pronounce I am, you are sending an electromagnetic pulse that resonates in the nucleus of every cell, instantly altering the expression of your genes. This is the biological foundation of your new sovereign reality today. From an educational point of view, we must understand that each cell has receptors that pick up chemicals generated by your emotional states. If you live under the implicit decree of I am weak or I am aging, your brain floods your bloodstream with cortisol and stress, hormones that deactivate the immune system and accelerate cellular wear. You are giving a retreat order. The alchemy of health begins when you interrupt this pattern and establish the decree of radiant health. By affirming, I am the perfect life flowing in every organ, you are changing your blood chemistry. It is not a metaphor. It is a biochemical instruction. You are ordering your cells to move from survival mode to growth and repair mode within the source. The human body regenerates almost completely in cycles of 7 years. Your bones, your skin, your blood. Nothing of what you are today physically existed a decade ago. Why, then, do diseases persist? They persist because the mental image of the disease persists in the I am of the individual. You are recreating the same sick body on new cells without a change. You are recreating the error because you have not changed the energetic template. To heal, you must apply the law of assumption. You must assume the feeling of being healthy now, even if the senses report pain. Pain is just old information, an echo of the past. By ignoring the echo and holding the frequency of perfection, you force new matter to crystallize in health. In Forbidden's teachings, Aging is not an inevitable natural process, but an accepted collective belief. We have been programmed to expect decline at a certain age, but the I Am has no age. It is the eternal present. When you identify with the presence, you start to draw energy from the source, not from food or limited rest. The decree activates cellular cleaning. The decree, I am renewed youth, activates telomeres and processes known as autophagy. For this to work, you must stop searching for symptoms in the mirror and start feeling vitality vibrating in your bones. Vitality is a conscious decision, not a result of luck. You are the master of your biological clock and the weaver of your physical state in the absolute now. For this knowledge to become power, the student must practice cellular flooding. Upon waking, before the world claims your attention, flood your body with the decree. I am the divine intelligence that directs every process of my anatomy. I am the vital force that dissolves every obstruction. Feel these words travel like an electric current through you. You are claiming sovereignty over your physical vehicle. You are not someone who tries to heal. You are health itself, expressing in a physical body. To understand the magnitude of health alchemy, we must dismantle the illusion of solidity. Your body is not a meat statue. It is a river of subatomic particles moving at a dizzying speed in the field of the source. At this very second, you are inhaling atoms that were once part of the stars and exhaling others that served your biology. The fundamental question is, who decides the shape those atoms take as they enter your system? The answer is the command, I am. The science of forbidden metaphysics holds that disease is, in reality, a stagnant memory in the field. When a cell reproduces, it seeks information in the matrix of consciousness to know how to form. If you maintain the internal narrative of being sickly or prone to pain, you are forcing new cells to copy the error of the old ones. To stop this cycle, the student must apply the biological vacuum. This consists of withdrawing all attention from physical symptoms. If you focus on the pain, you are giving your sacred name to the pain. I am this pain. In that moment, the quantum field solidifies the sensation. The expansion of this chapter teaches us that the I am must be used as a light scalpel that cuts the connection with the biological past. By affirming, I am the original perfection, you erase the memory of the symptom. Each organ of your body possesses a form of rudimentary intelligence, a cellular consciousness that responds to authority. Historically, we have been taught to talk about our body, but never with our body. True sovereignty of the I am implies addressing biological systems with the authority of the primary cause. You are the Aim, ruler of your internal world now. Imagine your heart, lungs, and blood are subjects waiting for clear orders, but they have only received complaints and fear. The expansion of your health occurs when you start to decree with purpose. I am the governing intelligence of my circulatory system. By doing this, you establish a hierarchy where consciousness is king and matter is the servant. When matter receives a coherent order, charged with the authority of the divine name, biological disorder dissolves because it has no energy source to sustain it. Beyond viruses and bacteria, there is belief contagion. We live in a sea of collective fears about health. The I am acts as an electromagnetic plasma shield around your being in the silence. By decreeing, I am the presence that nothing can touch except the perfection of life, you are raising the voltage of your auric field. Biophysics has shown that healthy cells have a specific voltage. When it drops, disease appears. The command I am is the battery charger of your system. It is a photon injection into your neural network to sustain your power. By holding this state of quantum immunity, you become invisible to the low frequencies of disease. You are not fighting disease. You are living in a frequency where disease simply cannot exist. Expanding health also means reclaiming time. Biological time is flexible. In this teaching, we understand that the I am can order mitochondria to operate at peak levels. To achieve this, you must eliminate phrases like "at my age" or "I am not what I used to be." Those are slow death sentences. The sovereign declares, "I am the vigor that is renewed every morning. I am the eternal youth manifested in every fiber of my being." By saturating your mind with these decrees, mental resistance breaks and the body must reflect the truth. Chapter 3. The Magnet of Opulence. Most people spend their lives trying to attract money, without understanding that the universe has no concept of money, only of value and resonance. The fundamental error is believing that scarcity is a real condition, when it is actually just a void of identity. In this chapter, you will learn that for the I am, wealth is an inherent property, not a destination. You are not someone seeking abundance. You are the source of abundance seeking a channel to express itself. The main lesson here is the law of correspondence. The physical world is a delayed mirror. If you stand before a mirror and dislike your reflection, you don't try to change the glass. You change the image projected in front of it. Wealth works the same way. The decree, "I am infinite provision manifested now," is the command that changes the image. Scientifically, this is based on expectation theory. When your I am is saturated with the certainty of opulence, your subconscious decisions and your ability to detect opportunities change radically. You stop vibrating in the frequency of need in the absolute. Need is a repulsive force. The more you need something, the more you confirm to the quantum field that you do not have it, and the field simply returns more lack. The sovereign breaks this loop by decreeing the result before seeing the evidence. We must understand that money is simply circulating energy. Those programmed with the idea that wealth is limited have resistance. They have created an ohmic resistance in their energy system. For the I am, wealth is as natural as breathing. Have you ever worried if the next breath of air will be available? No, because you know air is infinite and belongs to you by right of existence. That is the same attitude Forbidden's metaphysics demands toward the economy as the source. By saying I am wealth flowing through me, you are removing the mental dams of guilt. You are recognizing that money is a servant of your divine purpose, not your master. A vital lesson is this: the universe does not give you what you ask for. It gives you what you accept as truth in your I am. The sovereign mind accepts only the gold of the truth. A common obstacle is the belief that we must do something extreme to earn the right to opulence. The metaphysics of the I am teaches that your value resides in your being, not your productivity. When you affirm, "I am the magnet that attracts everything good and prosperous," you are claiming your position as a center of gravity in the silent field. Imagine a planet. It does not go out looking for satellites. Its own mass and gravity make the satellites orbit around it. Your consciousness is that planet. By raising the mass of your internal certainty through constant decrees, financial circumstances start to orbit around you. You cease to be a hunter to become a magnetic pole in the radiant empire. This is the quantum leap from the mentality of a reality employee to that of the owner of existence. For this chapter to transform your economy, we must speak of the receiving vacuum. You cannot fill a cup that is already full of dirty water. Dirty water is the belief in inflation, crisis, and bad luck. You must clear the vessel to receive the gold now. The practical exercise of this block is the dismissal of scarcity. You must use the I am to formally fire the version of you that lived in "it can't be done." Say with authority, "I am the definitive closing of every account of lack in my history." By doing this, you create an empty space that the quantum field, by the law of equilibrium, must fill with opulence. The lesson here is that abundance is not built upon scarcity. It is built upon the vacuum you leave when you stop believing in scarcity. To make the learning total, we must dissect the relationship between time and capital. Most people exchange time for money, which is the most limited form of existence. The I Am proposes an exchange of identity for reality. When you stop being the worker who seeks to become the sovereign who emits, the speed at which opulence reaches you stops being linear and becomes exponential. A deep lesson to integrate is that money is transparent energy. Money has no morals, no will, and no memory. It simply flows where there is the least resistance and the most clarity of command. If within you there is a belief that money is bad, you have created a high resistance barrier. The command, "I am total transparency for the flow of wealth," acts as a superconductor. By decreeing this, you are clearing your channel of ancestral prejudices. Money is not something you earn. It is something you allow to flow through your sovereign being. By expanding your I Am toward the idea that wealth is a tool of divine expansion, the quantum field removes physical obstacles like debts or lack of clients, so the energy reaches its destination, you. There is a technical difference between the struggler and the heir. The struggler believes he must build his empire from the ground, stone by stone. The heir knows the empire has already been built by the primary cause, and his only job is to claim the keys. The lesson here is the acceptance of the inheritance. By saying, "I am the heir of universal opulence," you are jumping over decades of unnecessary effort. You are not asking for something belonging to another. You are claiming what is in your name. You are claiming what is already deposited in your name in the bank of the field of silence. This distinction is vital. The feeling of claim has a much higher frequency than petition. Petition is born from lack. The claim is born from right. When you speak from your right as an heir, the universe cannot deny you access, as it would contradict its own law. To expand this toward the totality of time, we must teach the listener to spend mentally. Scarcity stays alive because people are afraid to spend, afraid the money won't return. That fear is a decree of I am limited. The exercise consists of using the I am to possess things in the mind before they arrive in form. This is the truth of the weaver. I am the owner of this financial freedom now. By holding this vision, you are eliminating the distance between you and your goal. For the quantum field, far or near, do not exist, only here and now. If you can feel the solidity of the keys to that new house in your mental hand while decreeing your I am, you have collapsed the timeline for the gold. Mental possession is the guarantee of physical possession. Finally, to ensure wealth does not stagnate, you must learn the law of circulation. The universe abhors a vacuum and stagnation. The I am does not only receive, it also blesses. I am the source that blesses every coin that leaves my hand, knowing it returns to me multiplied by 1,000. This transforms paying bills into a ritual of power. You are declaring that you are so abundant you can afford for wealth to flow through you. By blessing the outflow, you ensure the inflow. It is a financial breath. You inhale provision and exhale blessing. While this cycle is active, scarcity will be a physical impossibility in your sovereign reality. Chapter 4. The I Am in Silence. Until now, we have worked with the word and the concept, but the true magic of metaphysics occurs in the space between thoughts. Most people fail in their decrees because they try to build upon incessant mental noise. It is like trying to write a masterpiece on a chalkboard already full of scribbles. In this chapter, you will learn that silence is the presence of pure potentiality. In the chamber of silence, the I am stops being a declaration and becomes a reality. The fundamental lesson for the listener is the control of the brain wave. When you stress, your brain operates in beta waves, chaos. But when you enter conscious silence, you descend to alpha and theta, where the border between your mind and the quantum field vanishes into the absolute source. The I am pronounced in silence has a power 1,000 times superior to one pronounced in agitation. Because in silence, there is no resistance or internal voice saying, "That is impossible." In the chamber of silence, you are the only legislator. Silence is the high-voltage cable that carries the energy of your decree from the invisible world to the visible. Without it, your decree is just air. For manifestation to be total, the listener must learn to strip themselves of their history. We often enter meditation carrying debts, names, and titles. But in the chamber of silence, you must enter as pure consciousness without labels. The practical exercise is the identity fast. For a few minutes, you stop being a parent, employee, or citizen. You remain only with the I am. This is the lesson of the creative vacuum. When you achieve absolute silence without being anyone, you become potentially everything. From this point of nullity, you can rebuild your health and wealth from scratch without the past interfering. You are installing a clean operating system, free from the viruses of your previous history. You are the architect of the new gold. Imagine the quantum field is fertile ground, and your I am decree is a seed. If you sow the seed and keep shouting or moving the earth, mental noise, it will never germinate. Silence is the gestation time. The vital lesson is trust in the invisible. After emitting your decree of wealth or health, you must enter a state of receptive silence. It is an active listening of power. At this level of forbidden metaphysics, silence is the signature on the contract. When you can sustain silence after a decree without feeling anxiety about the how or when, you have shown the universe that you already possess what you asked for. Anxiety is noise. Faith is silence. Finally, the listener must integrate the lesson of sustained attention as the silent observer. In silence, you are not thinking about the I am, you are being it. This is the observer effect in quantum physics. Matter behaves depending on who looks at it. If the observer is silent and focused, matter orders itself. By practicing the chamber of silence, you are training your ability to collapse the wave function. You are learning to look at your future until it solidifies. The fastest manifestation comes from the ability to sustain the feeling of the wish fulfilled in a state of absolute stillness. It is like a bell that has been struck. The sound may have ceased, but the vibration continues. Your job is to become that residual vibration. Sustaining the note of health or opulence in the silence of your day-to-day is what finally bends the matter. We must distinguish between external silence and reactive silence. The true power of forbidden metaphysics manifests when you sustain the chamber of silence amidst the chaos of the physical world. This state is the eye of the storm. While winds destroy everything on the periphery, absolute calm reigns at the center. Your job is to place your I am in that stable center. When the outside world shouts about crisis or illness, your task is to enter metaphysical immobility. By not reacting to external stimuli, you deny energy to the problem. In the silence of non-reaction, the problem dies for lack of food. The decree, "I am the point of stillness," is a quantum offense. By staying still, you force reality to reconfigure around your peace. To let the I am record a new reality, you must learn conscious erasure. Imagine your mind is a movie screen full of past images. Silence acts as the projector turning off. For a minute, visualize nothing. Experience pure blackness, the pure vacuum. This blank space is the state of quantum superposition, where all possibilities exist, but none have manifested yet for the weaver. Only when you master the blank screen, as the command "I am abundance," have the power to print without distortion. The final lesson is fusion. In deep silence, the border between you and the quantum field fades. This is the state of oneness. Here, the I am is a recognition that you are the field. You are not calling an external God for health. Health is a property of your substance. In silence, this becomes a physical experience. You feel your being expand beyond the limits of your skin. This is power without effort. You no longer try to change reality. You simply decide which infinite version you will experience now. We must teach the Cello del Silencio, seal of silence. Once you emit your decree, you must protect it with a period of guard. Do not talk about your decree. Do not explain it. Keep the secret. The secret contains the pressure necessary for manifestation to fire. Silence after the decree is the womb where reality gestates. If you open the womb too soon through unnecessary speech, the manifestation is lost. Carry your I am like a hidden treasure, knowing silence is the guarantee of its fulfillment. Chapter 5. The Great Invocation. You have traveled the path of language, biology, opulence, and silence. But knowledge without application is just intellectual noise. In this final chapter, the learning focuses on total synchronization. You will learn that the Great Invocation is not a prayer done once a day, but the state of presence you maintain while you walk, talk, and breathe in the absolute now. It is the moment you stop practicing metaphysics to become living metaphysics. The main lesson of this block is the difference between desiring and assuming. Desire is a confession of lack. Assumption is a declaration of possession. For your hour of study to be effective, you must learn to walk in the assumption. If your decree was, I am opulence, you must move with certainty. Your learning consists of moving through the world with the elegance and security of someone who already has millions in the bank. Even if your pockets are physically empty at this instant, do not wait for the money to arrive to feel rich. Feel rich so that the money has no other choice but to appear. By assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you force the mirror. You are forcing the mirror of reality to reflect your new identity. You are learning that physical reality is not the cause, but the effect of your internal state. A vital lesson that expands this chapter is the mastery of the eternal now. The I am only exists in the present. Most people lose their power because their mind is in the past or in the future today. In the Great Invocation, you learn to anchor your I am in the absolute present. Every time your mind tries to escape to a tomorrow where you will finally be happy or healthy, bring it back with the command, I am here. I am now. This anchoring creates an accumulation of energy so potent that it becomes irresistible to matter. You are a quantum power accumulator. The longer you stay in the now, feeling your divinity, the faster the old structures of limitation in your life will collapse. For this to be a tool of real transformation, the listener must integrate the lesson of the legislative will. Your word is law in your personal universe, but only if you believe it is. The Great Invocation unites your will with the source. By saying, I am the authority over my destiny, you are assuming total responsibility. There is no more blame. Neither the government, nor the economy, nor genetics have power over the sovereign who has awakened. This is the lesson of primary causality. You are the cause of everything you experience. By accepting this, you receive the absolute power to change it. A closing lesson is the continuity of consciousness. Do not allow the power you have felt in this hour to dissolve when the audio is turned off. The Great Invocation is a 24-hour commitment. Learn to use the I am as a filter for every thought. If a thought of fear crosses your mind, do not fight it. Simply replace it with a higher frequency decree of the light. I am the peace that surpasses all understanding. You are learning to be the gardener of your own mind, pulling out the weeds of doubt before they take root. At the end of this hour, you are no longer the same person who started. You have reconfigured your neural circuits, raised your cellular voltage, and claimed your birthright to abundance and perfection now. Audiobook Conclusion. The Seal of Reality. We have reached the end of this transmission of power. But in the world of energy, this is only the beginning. The I am that you have invoked today is now an active seed in the field of all possibilities. Your final instruction is this: walk this day as if you were a God walking upon the earth. Do not allow anything or anyone to pull you down from your throne of frequency now. You have learned the code, you have activated the presence, and you have claimed sovereignty. The universe now awaits your orders. Remember always, you are not looking for the light. I am the light. You are not looking for the path. I am the path. You are not looking for life. I am life in its total fullness. That is how it is, and that is how it shall be for the weaver. The seal of reality is now placed upon your consciousness. Every vibration you emit carries the weight of the first cause. The old world of lead is behind you, and the golden era of your own creation has begun. Go forth with the certainty of the sovereign Joseph, for the equation of silence is solved, and the world is finally your own to command in the absolute light.